Welcome to the London News Today. I'm Sven Tassen. In this program, a heavy snowstorm crosses the country, an enormous fire destroys a factory, two criminals escape from a prison in Oxford, and a truck slipped on a highway. A heavy snowstorm crosses the country. Heathrow was closed today and will be closed tomorrow. Many people have to stay at the airport. Every hotel in the area is full. The people have to overnight at the airport. Lisanne van der Peer is at the airport and he will give us more information about the situation. Good evening, Lisanne. Can you tell us what's happening over there?
Good evening, Finn. The situation is very bad. Many people have to stay at the airport because all the hotels are full. I spoke to the director of the airport and he told me that Heathrow will be closed for almost 3 days, until the snowstorm stops. The people who are stuck don't have to pay the food by their own. Volunteers distribute food parcels. Later on I will have some more information. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Lisanne. Also, other airports in London are closed. People who have to go by plane have to take, if possible, a train or a boat. The airlines will pay the charges back. In our next headline, an enormous fire destroys a factory. Now we are going to our local reporter Lisanne van der Peer, who's standing in Antwerp where a big fire took place last night. Good evening, Lisanne. What can you tell us about the fire?
Well, as you can see behind me, the fire is still going on, but for further details I will ask Fire Commandant Nigel, who is standing next to me. Good morning, Mr. Nigel. What's exactly going on?
Good evening. The fire took place in the early evening and we think it started in the engine room of the factory. Till now we don't have any victims, but the material damage is enormous, so the fireworks will go on all day long.
Thank you, Commandant, for your explanation. So, Sven, this is it, live from Antwerp. Maybe you will have some more information later on. Back to the studio.
Two prisoners escaped tonight. The criminals tied their sheets together. First they removed two bars and then they went down. They didn't leave any tracks. Now we are going to our local reporter, Lisanne van der Peer. Good evening, Lisanne. Can you tell us what happened over there?
Good evening, Sven. The two prisoners, Freddy Booger and Jack the Flipper, are very dangerous. The headmaster of the prison in Oxford is shocked. Nobody could ever escape from the prison. Nobody hasn't seen or heard anything when they escaped. The local police and a special unit are looking for them and they won't stop until they find them. I will have some more information tonight. That was Lisanne van der Peer, live from Oxford.
Thank you very much, Lisanne. The police will give you a reward if you have some good information or if you catch the criminals. It's a reward from £10,000. This afternoon, a deadly truck crash took place in Birmingham. A truck loaded with ice cream slipped on the highway from Birmingham to Oxford. All of the ice cream covered the road surface. The road was very slippery. Our reporter Lisanne will tell us what happened over there.
Good evening, Sven. Suddenly a truck started slipping and the truck overturned. All the ice cream came out of his load. The cars slipped on the ice cream. 4 people died and there are 10 wounded men. The highway was closed for 5 hours and a long queue arose. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Lisanne. This was our news for today. We will be back tomorrow with more headlines. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Ah, moet ik beginnen?
Ja, doe maar ik kan het ook bijgeknipt worden, dus doe maar.
Oh my god, dit is wel... Oké. Good evening, Sven. The situation is very bad. Many people have to stay at the airport because all the hotels are full. I spoke to the director. Good evening, Sven. The situation is very bad. Many people have to stay at the airport because all the hotels are full. I spoke to the director of... Maar ik kan het toch moeilijk opeten?
Cookie monster.
Je houdt dat toch maar van je
Wacht,
af? Zo is het normaal. The people who are stuck don't have to pay the food by their own. Volunteers distribute...
Allee.
Good evening, Sven. Suddenly a truck started slipping and the truck overturned. All the ice cream came out of his load. The cars... Good evening, Sven. Right? Oh my god. Well, as you can see behind me, the fire is still on. But for further details I will ask Fire Commandant Nigel. Who's standing next to me? Good evening, Mr. Nigel. What's exactly going on?
Good evening. The fire... dat die dik star staan. The fire took place in the early evening and we think it started in the engine room of the factory. Till now we think there aren't any victims, but the material damage is enormous. So the fireworks will go on a long day. Till now we think there aren't any victims, but the material damage is enormous. So the fireworks will go on all day long. Okay.
Well, as you can see behind me, the fire is still going on. But for further details I will ask Fire Commandant Nigel, who is standing next to me. Good morning, Mr. Nigel. What's exactly going on?
Ik denk dat je wil stoppen, het is 7.